Merry Christmas, Hugh. Merry Christmas, everybody. What a gift this is. Boxing Day has already been a festive treat, but now we take you to the top of the Premier League's tree. First, travel to second with a huge cushion, but determined not to offer any encouragement to those lurking behind them. 6 big fire cannons go off on the far side of the field as Liverpool and Leicester stride into the Foxes' den. Liverpool do so now as world and European champions, but still, they've never won a Premier League. Their last top-flight title came nearly 30 years ago, back when it was just a plain old Division 1. It doesn't look like they'll have to wait too much longer. Brendan Rodgers, who nearly took Liverpool to the title 5 years ago, will be pretty satisfied with Leicester's haul so far in a semi-final of a cup competition as well, second in the table. But he wasn't delighted with the performance on Saturday night at the home of the current champions, Manchester City. He expects better tonight. How does he get it? David Connolly.
Well, it's going to be a real challenge. This Liverpool side, obviously, I think are going to come back from Doha in really confident fashion. I thought they were superb in the final, rode their luck at times, but even in the semi, when they needed their goalkeeper to make saves, he did. And I think for Brendan Rodgers, this Leicester side, they need, I think, their best performance of the season here. They really do. They need to match the energy, the work rate of this Liverpool team. They need to have the pace to cope with those runs in behind and obviously stop any sort of delivery into the box.
They've been fantastic so far this season, Leicester City. I think we all acknowledge that. But it's Hugh right when he says actually what they really want now is one of these big scabs to really give them the confidence that this title race isn't over yet.
No, that's right. But look, they are still in it. You know, if they can get a result here, certainly it'll be difficult. But I think this season, obviously, they've surprised an awful lot of people. Are they finding them out, the big boys? Well, I wouldn't necessarily say that. But apart from the likes of maybe Jamie Vardy with his goal threat, there aren't that many others. You know, Maddison's chipped in with quite a few. Tielemans, the odd 4 or 5 goals. But apart from Vardy, if you can keep him quiet, you've got a real chance.
Here's the two teams then. Leicester make just one change from that Saturday night defeat away at Manchester City. Schmeichel is their goalkeeper. Pereira, Soyuncu, who has to be a little bit careful because he's on a booking. If he does pick up a booking, he'll be suspended for the weekend games. Johnny Evans and Ben Chilwell make up the defence. Ndidi will hold in midfield. Tielemans and Maddison, Barnes and Pratt will operate just in front of him. Jamie Vardy, 7 goals in 7 games and scored more goals against the Big Six in the last 5 years than anybody else, leads the line. For Liverpool, Alisson is their goalkeeper. Trent Alexander-Arnold, Joe Gomez, Van Dijk and Robertson the back four. Keita, Henderson and Wijnaldum in midfield. Sadio Mane, Salah and Firmino lead the line. A quick word on that Leicester formation, bringing in Pratt into the midfield area. I think we mentioned earlier, said it was a bit cautious, a bit pragmatic. Is it the right thing to do, though?
Well, possibly. I mean, look, he's obviously going to be tasked with maybe tracking those runners that are going to run in behind. We saw that with Man City in terms of where they put the likes of Kevin De Bruyne in between the likes of Soyuncu and Chilwell. I imagine Liverpool will do something similar with the likes of Keita and Wijnaldum. So it'll be up to Dennis Pratt, Tielemans to have real discipline tonight.
Technology stepped in to help separate these two teams back in October. But surely now the gap is far too big for Leicester to catch Liverpool. Miracles do tend to happen at this time of year. Just ask the Saints of Southampton. No miracle cure for Arsenal earlier on today on TalkSport, but Everton picked up their first win under their new boss on a Boxing Day bonanza. No radio station has ever covered every single Premier League game on Boxing Day before. We started with the special one. Now we've got the big one. Then again, we are TalkSport. Welcome to Leicester City's King Power Stadium. Leicester, the home team, in blue shirts, white shorts, blue socks. Liverpool all in red, shooting from left to right in the first half. Our referee today is Michael Oliver. The VAR is Paul Tierney, who last ref Liverpool in their game against Manchester City. And Pep wasn't very happy. We're off and underway. Brendan Rodgers asked for the crowd to be as loud as possible tonight. He has not been let down by the 30,000 inside here tonight. There's a corner away to our left-hand side in this big one-tiered bowl of a stadium on a misty night, just next to the River Soar. And the Liverpool fans taking up that far corner away to our left-hand side, and in hearty voice already as Andrew Robertson takes a throw from the far side. Straight into Joe Gomez, who was great in the Club World Cup final. On to Alexander-Arnold. Early shot saved by Schmeichel in front of his goal. Parried it with his left hand, poured it into his body, and then held on to it despite the on-rushing Roberto Firmino.
Well, that looked pretty simple, to be honest, but that was straight off the training ground. I mean, everyone knows Jurgen Klopp. He likes to bring in that support staff. Straight off the training ground, brilliant throw-in, straight to Alexander-Arnold, a good strike on goal.
Here is Salah into the area, looking for Mane, who somehow missed from 4 yards out. It might even have been closer than that. Whipped in from the right side by Salah, who chopped back on his left foot and angled the cross to the 6-yard area. Firmino was lurking. I thought it might reach him first, it didn't. And there was Mane to somehow steer the ball over the top of the crossbar, and he was what? 4 yards out?
He just ran off Johnny Evans, but all started with Kasper Schmeichel. Really poor kick out. Straight to Mane, then they're on the attack, but it's a brilliant ball in from Salah.
Well, it's a great chance for Liverpool so early in the game, and maybe they should have been 1-0 up. You would think in a game like this where they need all 3 points just to assert their authority on the game, and with someone like Sadio Mane, who's got 30 goals in 48 appearances in 2009, that would have just rippled the back of the net. It didn't. And Liverpool have it back again, deep inside their own territory. They've given the ball away, and Vardy's turned it over. Now here's Tielemans. He's just outside the D. Forward towards Harvey Barnes, who's come in off that right-hand side. I think the offside flag might have gone up anyway, and it's cleared away by Alisson. A really fast start to the game here. Leicester shooting from right to left. Liverpool from left to right, and here comes Mohamed Salah, just losing the ball as it goes out of play, and Chilwell will take the throw in midway inside his own half. 2.5 minutes played on the final game in the Premier League on Boxing Day, and it's Leicester 0, Liverpool 0.
You're right, it is a fast start, certainly from Liverpool, the away team. They come flying out the traps, work the ball from left to right really well, been on the front foot, and then just going back to that throw-in. I know they brought in a throwing coach, didn't they, at the start of the season? And
Thomas Gronemark.
That's right, and straight away they went from something like 18th out of 20 teams to first in terms of retaining possession. And going back to that Alexander-Arnold strike, that was straight off the training ground, really well worked.
Leicester do have the possession at the moment after their throw on this near side. It went back from Ndidi towards Pereira. It was hooked up over the halfway line, high into the misty night sky. Scurrying back in the left full-back position for Liverpool was Robertson, who helped it to Alisson. Not a great kick by him, and it goes straight out of play on the halfway line. 0-0 the score, 3 minutes played on TalkSport. Thank you very much for listening to us today, wherever you've been. I know a lot of you have been out and about, up and down, getting back from football matches all over the country, and we appreciate your ears.
I think we've already seen a couple of times here the challenge that Leicester will face in terms of they're not going to be a carbon copy of City, that's for sure. Liverpool, they're not afraid to go long. We saw that on the kickoff. The ball went back straight diagonal in behind. They're not afraid to play those longer passes either.
Henderson commits a foul and gives a free kick to Leicester. It's 13 yards inside Liverpool territory, away on the right-hand side. Leicester City have it. And it will be taken, well, I thought it was going to be taken by Maddison, but I think he's just called over to Chilwell, who's now trotted over from this near side, gone right out to the far side. I doubt he's just gone over there to be a decoy. Maybe he has. No, he's going to take it short into Tielemans, who then sends the ball towards the back post looking for Ndidi, who's in an offside position. Didn't really work that one out particularly well, Leicester. It was choreographed, but not executed properly. And it goes straight through to Alisson, who kicks clear. Not the greatest of clearance by Liverpool. Leicester have got it back. Here's Chilwell on the halfway line, skating forward, tries to poke it forward into the path of Barnes, cut out by Robertson. Now Mane flips it forward in towards Salah. Little dab with the head. Out comes Kasper Schmeichel. Pereira was very close to it, but Kasper Schmeichel had to come out very quickly and grab that on the edge of the area because Salah was speeding through.
You just saw that free kick from Leicester. I think obviously they realised Liverpool got a very high line.
Oh dear, Johnny Evans has given the ball away on the edge of his own penalty area. Salah over the top of the crossbar under no pressure. Well, immediately the ball was gobbled up by Wijnaldum onto Firmino. Square pass on the edge of the D into Salah. Great chance for Liverpool. He's missed it again. That's two good chances early doors.
Again, Leicester guilty of giving the ball away. This time it's Johnny Evans, straight ball into the middle of the park. A bit like Kasper Schmeichel earlier. It's a brave tactic, but they're sticking with it.
Well, that's two good chances for Liverpool inside the first 5 minutes here on TalkSport. None of them taken. It remains goalless. Here is Virgil van Dijk to Mane, Henderson, and then back out to Virgil van Dijk again. Leicester were caught out by Norwich 2 weeks ago. Brendan Rodgers starting to put a diamond in that game. They conceded far too much space in that match, and then the Canaries getting in between Soyuncu and Chilwell, and that was a similar pattern last week against Manchester City. They can't afford for that today. Today they've lined up slightly differently, haven't they, Leicester City? Well, Barnes is getting quite high up into the Liverpool half of the field. Offside flag has gone up. But there is still a little bit of an imbalance on this left-hand side, because Maddison, Tielemans and also Dennis Pratt are very congested in that central area.
Yeah, they're just trying to plug those gaps. It's sort of a 4-1-4-1, which they have played quite a lot this season. He's got a job to do out wide here, but here's this long diagonal straight out to Alexander-Arnold.
Chilwell read that, got there ahead of his England teammate and headed the ball out of play on this near side. Both managers wearing tracksuits today and hooded, padded jackets down in front of us. We're at the back of this stand, which is just looming high above the dugouts here at the King Power Stadium in Leicester. The ball is hoisted long, away from danger by Soyuncu, and out of play and again for another throw-in to Liverpool. 6.5 gone on TalkSport. Alexander-Arnold will take this throw, looking for a bit of movement in front of him. And Henderson just drops a little deeper, then Mane comes across, collects and tries to switch to play, blocked by Barnes, one back by Leicester City, then given away by Evans, and now here's Mane, midway inside Leicester territory, travelling centrally out to the left. Robertson with the first time cross, hits Pereira, goes out of play and away for a throw on the far side.
You can see that pressing, that counter-pressing there from Liverpool. They lost possession on the throw-in. Mane tried to feed the ball out wide, but immediately they won it back.
Elsewhere today, victories for Tottenham Hotspur. They beat Brighton by 2-1. Bournemouth and Arsenal drew 1-1. Aston Villa beat Norwich. Chelsea lost at home to Southampton. Crystal Palace, they were winners at home against West Ham United. That commentary was on the app as well with Alex Crook, I think, earlier on. Everton beat Burnley by 1-0. Sheffield United drew 1-1 with Watford. And Manchester United thrashed Newcastle United, although Newcastle United gave them a bit of a helping hand. West Brom dropped points in the Championship today as well. All the action will be reviewed after 10 o'clock tonight, I'm sure, on the Sports Bar. And we've got live commentary of the big game of the day. It's Leicester City 0, Liverpool 0. Deep inside their own half. A little whack through the ankles of Maddison from Trent Alexander-Arnold, who's pleading his innocence. It's a free kick on this near side. Jeff Brazier and Gary O'Neill on the Sports Bar tonight. It's a nice pair, that, isn't it? Chilwell to take the free kick on this near side. Infield to Soyuncu. Soyuncu deep inside his own territory. Immediately he's rushed by Firmino, isn't he? Firmino hasn't got too many goals this season, but enough doing a lot of work for Liverpool.
They are putting on a really high press here, Liverpool, putting Leicester under all sorts of pressure. We've got to be brave to play their way out. They've given it away a couple of times, but they're sticking to it.
Reading 0, QPR 0 is the latest score from the Championship. I mentioned West Brom had dropped points. Leeds dropped point as well, didn't they? Earlier on when they drew with Preston. They were 1-0 down in that game. Here's Barnes out towards the right. Little flick ball into Dennis Pratt. His first time cross is blocked by Van Dijk. Of course it is. And it's picked up on the edge of the area by Henderson. And then the big wall, Virgil van Dijk, hoists it up towards Mohamed Salah, who tries to wrestle the ball from the sky, but he can't get it under control. And it pops back to Soyuncu at the heart of the Leicester defence. Goalless.
Well, that might give him a little bit of confidence, because they work the ball really well there, Leicester, from the edge of their own box up to the other end. They need a spell in possession, certainly, and they're having it now.
Well, they were unbeaten, Leicester, in 11 games since the defeat to Liverpool. Until that defeat to Manchester City, it frustrated Brendan Rodgers, who knew that his side were suffocated by the intense City press. And it's similar in that vein that Liverpool are trying to employ that here, knowing that they'll look to play out from the back. Indeed, he almost got caught by Wijnaldum. They have beaten it this time. Now they look to release Vardy, but Alexander-Arnold has come in from right full-back and just about nicked it away from Vardy and from Barnes, who was coming in from the other side. And for the first time, Leicester's game plan was there for all to see. Play it out from the back, spring Barnes and Vardy, and see if they can beat Alexander-Arnold for pace. Not on that occasion. Chilwell into Maddison, then on to Vardy, past Alexander-Arnold, low cross through the 6-yard box, no one there to tap it home. Robertson covering, in from left full-back, tucks it behind and away for the first corner of the game.
Oh, fantastic football here from the Foxes. They work it infield. Maddison, little ball, first time out wide of Vardy, great first touch, Tamino, Harvey Barnes has got to get across Robertson. He doesn't. He's caught on his heels, but he sweeps it out from the corner. But that's really encouraging from the home team. Great football.
Corner then to be taken by James Maddison over on the far side in front of that little clutch of Liverpool fans who have travelled down from the northwest today. There are every single member of the Liverpool outfield team is inside the box as the ball goes into the area. It's headed away by Robertson. It's clipped away by Salah and out to Mane. And here comes the counter-attack. Salah's free in the centre if they can find him. They have. Schmeichel's come out. He's gone past him. He's gone wide towards the left-hand side. It's a tight angle. He hits the side netting. Well, what a counter-attack at lightning speed from Liverpool. A corner at one end to Leicester. A chance at the other for Mohamed Salah. He just took the ball a little bit too wide round Kasper Schmeichel, who maybe did enough by coming out so quickly just to put the Egyptian off, but he exposed the high line of Leicester City there and the lack of protection that Brendan Rodgers' team had, and maybe Liverpool should be in front.
Oh, devastating counter. Schmeichel came rushing out though. I think Jurgen Klopp sort of screaming at him saying, Mo, go to ground. He didn't, elected to go around Schmeichel, as you say, really heavy touch, took him wide, went for goal. He might have actually been better squaring it in the end.
Well, it's three good chances they've had now. Here's Barnes down the right though, played in by Pereira. Offside flag goes up and they play on Leicester City, get the ball into the centre and then sort of half give it up as the ball goes into the centre because the flag had gone up. I just wonder whether or not with VAR in play, was that tight enough to have let it go for a little bit longer?
It was just half a yard.
I don't even know if it was that.
It was half a foot. Half a toe.
Oh, it was very tight.
What a game though. You can't pause to really take it in.
Mane going through the centre. Liverpool only landed back from Qatar on Sunday, so they've had quite a period where they haven't been able to take their eye off football for a while. Their festive period this year, though they do have the second most hours rest over Christmas and the New Year period. Their New Year's Day game isn't played until the 2nd of Jan, so they will get a few more minutes to put their feet up than other teams in the Premier League this festive period, although I did read that Jurgen Klopp still think it is a crime, the Christmas schedule. Well, we love it. Hugh loves it. What would he do over Christmas if he didn't have football, eh? Poor bloke.
Every pound's a prisoner with Hugh, by the sounds of it.
If you're just joining us and you didn't hear the Grinch talk earlier on, he'll be back at half-time. Here is Soyuncu, deep inside his own territory, away to our right-hand side. Then it's on to Chilwell in the left full-back position, flipping the ball forward. Vardy trying to jump in behind Gomez. Gomez with not a great clearance. He read it but didn't deal with it properly. Alexander-Arnold helps him out, and here's Van Dijk just bringing it out of defence for Liverpool. 0-0 the score. They've had two good chances. Poor ball by Robertson, cut out, sent on by Pereira. Tielemans looking to bring in Pratt, but it's cut out by Van Dijk and cleared upfield again. Another quick Leicester attack. It's a fascinating game, this, full of quality and speed, and Salah racing forward at real velocity, tries to dissect the defence with a ball into the area looking for Firmino, cut out by Soyuncu and cleared away by Leicester City. Absolutely fascinating. Here is Mane on the left, 2 yards in from the touchline, a couple of steps further infield into Henderson, just on the cusp of the centre circle, flies the ball out to the right. Alexander-Arnold brings it down. Chilwell comes to engage, back into the centre, midway inside the Leicester half, swirled to the far side to Mane by Henderson, can't control it, out of play, and it's away for a throw-in. 64% possession so far for Leicester City, 36 for Liverpool, but they've had 4 shots on goal, one of them on target.
But they've really settled down now, Leicester. I mean, they started really brightly, Liverpool, obviously, as you say, had the chances. That's the threat that they possess, but Leicester very brave on the ball.
Oh, indeed, he's given it away, and it's picked up by Henderson. It's a looping ball towards the far post, and it's stopped by Kasper Schmeichel. Just about manages to get a fingernail on that to turn it round the post. Well, that was another mistake, a throw-in from the Leicester right fullback into Ndidi. I mean, I must admit, what a stupid place to throw the ball.
Absolutely, right to his chest. I mean, he then has to take a heavy touch. It bounces up in the air, just invites a challenge from Henderson, who gets a strike off. Little deflection. Does Schmeichel touch it? I'm not so sure. Just drifts past the post. I mean, there's been brave and there's been stupid, and at times they've got it wrong so far, Leicester.
Yeah, that was a little bit naive and probably a little bit overconfident from Leicester. And they've invited Liverpool to have chances. They haven't been taken so far, but you can't keep giving them chances. This is the best team in the land right now. Here's the corner to be taken by Alexander-Arnold into the near post. Easy header away by Chilwell. Barnes can't escape with the ball. It's won by Keita. Back to Alexander-Arnold. His cross is too deep. Goes over the crossbar and out for a goal kick away to our right-hand side. Well, Liverpool have only dropped 2 points this season. Manchester United the only team to take points off them. And if you start giving them opportunities cheaply and freely, then they will punish you sooner rather than later.
I guess the challenge for Leicester is, if they do go long, how they're going to retain the ball. The problem is, them trying to play through that press from Liverpool is so difficult.
Well, they played with an extra midfielder today, I guess, because they want to ensure that there are options when they're playing out from the back.
And you can see they're quite narrow, the likes of Pratt, Tielemans, they're narrow. Barnes in contact with the likes of Jamie Vardy, just trying to overload that Liverpool midfield three, but just been difficult to get it into them.
Still 0-0. And while it's still 0-0, Leicester will think they have a chance. Remember, they didn't have much of the ball before they took the lead in the game against Manchester City last Saturday. You're listening to Leicester 0, Liverpool 0 on TalkSport with Now TV. And don't forget, you can watch the Brighton versus Bournemouth game at the weekend and Norwich versus Tottenham live this Saturday with a Now TV Sky Sports Day Pass for a one-off payment of just $9.99. Schmeichel about to play out from a goal kick. He decides this time to go long, and he goes very long looking for Vardy. Van Dijk eats that up like it's Christmas dinner, heads it away out towards the right side. Back with Leicester again though on halfway with Ndidi. Out wide to Ricardo Pereira. Pereira takes a few steps down the touchline into Barnes, and then it goes all the way back to Johnny Evans.
Well, that's good. That time Schmeichel didn't risk playing out. He went long. They didn't win the first one, but they picked up the second ball. That's the key.
Chilwell from a crossfield ball by Soyuncu, plays infield, finds Maddison, who looks to weave towards the edge of the area, tries to turn away from Keita, who's putting him under pressure. Henderson has a kick out. They play on. Ndidi takes it on towards the right. Barnes takes it to the angle of the penalty area, tries to cut into the centre. Pratt receives it, cuts it back. Ricardo Pereira further on to Barnes again. Pratt with a cross towards the far post. And it's headed behind and away it's not behind and away, it's headed away by Alexander-Arnold, and then thundered clear by Robertson, who kept it in and stopped it from going for a corner.
It's good defending there from Alexander-Arnold. Jamie Vardy just pulled off at the back post. He tracked the run of Arnold, good header clear. This is a great game, pulsating, barely stops, even when the ball goes out of play, it's back in on throw-ins really quickly.
Intoxicating, you can't take your eyes off it. Reading 0, Queen's Park Rangers 0 is the latest score from the Championship. It's the late kick-off in that division today. Tielemans trying to get the better of Keita, but bundled him out of the way to get there. The referee eventually blew his whistle and gave the free kick. Initially I thought he was going to play the advantage, he didn't. Well, this is the same starting 11 that Rodgers felt was necessary up at Anfield, and managed to hold on against Liverpool until the 5th minute of added time, when James Milner converted a VAR given penalty against Leicester to keep that winning run going. And so far it's been competitive between these two, although Liverpool definitely have had the best of the chances in the game. 19 minutes gone. TalkSport live on Boxing Day. Ball sent crossfield from Henderson, deep from his halfway line towards Salah, up to the edge of the area. Keita trying to get the better of Ndidi. Good tackle by Ndidi, who sends the ball out towards the corner flag. It then runs out of play, and it's away for a Liverpool corner.
That's that run we were talking about earlier, in terms of Ndidi picking up that run from Keita. He'll make those in for fun, a bit like De Bruyne did for Man City. Tracked it ever so well.
Corner to be taken by Trent Alexander-Arnold. Keita's come across for the short one if necessary. Wijnaldum is in the 6-yard area. Mane on the penalty spot. He's got such a good leap, Mane, despite being small in stature. Henderson is in there, so is Firmino and Van Dijk. It's in towards Mane, who's on the edge of the 6-yard box. Not a great header, but Firmino is coming in for the second ball, and they reacted quickest. Mane's gone down under pressure from Maddison. It's only half cleared. It'll be further cleared now. Vardy's on his bike, and so is Harvey Barnes, and he's racing with Joe Gomez. Gomez is a sprinter. He's going to get there first, and then Alisson just steps in rather calmly, puts out his cigar and says, "I'll just sweep that up, thank you very much."
Well, that's a good foot race, wasn't it? In the end, Alisson done ever so well just to come out of his box. We saw Schmeichel do it at one end, who got it horribly wrong. Alisson Becker at the other. Absolutely perfect timing. Yeah,
just arrived on the scene at exactly the right moment, managed to toe end the ball away, then took it out into midfield and stroked a pass forward. And this is the way of the modern goalkeeper. 20 minutes played. Leicester City 0, Liverpool 0. Here is Ndidi. After Leicester play out from the back into midfield Then it's up to Barnes on the right side, trying to get the better of the Scotland captain. Andrew Robertson played to Van Dijk and then on to Salah through the centre of the Leicester half, cut out by Soyuncu and then taken on by Chilwell. Chilwell runs out towards the near side. Went far too close to the near side and actually ran over the touchline and is given a throw-in away. Michael Oliver very quick on the scene. I mean, was there any suggestion that there could have been a foul here by James Maddison on Mane?
I mean, Mane's gone to ground. I don't know. I think it was 6-1 really. They just came together. Ball was there to be won. I don't think it was a foul.
Went under the ball a little bit, Maddison, left a few legs dangling, or could caught Mane a little bit maybe.
So
certainly
deep.
Wasn't reviewed.
Just looking at Firmino here, trying to get in the game. He's started possession really, dropping deeper and deeper, almost on the halfway line there.
Scored the goal that won the Club World Cup final. Roberto Firmino in extra time on TalkSport 2 last Saturday. It's currently Leicester City 0, Liverpool 0. For the latest odds, you can head to the Betfair Exchange, the official betting partner of TalkSport's Premier League coverage, where right now you can get Leicester at 4.4, Liverpool 1.91, the draw is 3.95. That's all thanks to the Betfair Exchange. More ways to bet, more ways to win. 18 plus, please, gambleaware.org.
Just looking at Liverpool, they've tried that big diagonal. Van Dijk out to this right-hand side a couple of times to Salah. Hasn't quite come off. I think Ben Chilwell, they've obviously learned from the City game. He's just taking a little bit of a wider start position just so he can try and read those, and he's done it really well so far.
Game day returns this Saturday, live from the Amex Stadium. Brighton against Bournemouth is a 12:30 kickoff. Rashman and the gang will be there. I'll be at Norwich versus Tottenham on Saturday, but we've got another game tomorrow night as well. Wolves against Manchester City. Here is Ndidi over the halfway line to Pereira, then on to Barnes. His cross into the box, fielded well by Joe Gomez, and it's eventually cleared up through midfield to Henderson and then on to Keita. A real high quality game at the King Power Stadium between two of the best teams in the land this season. Here's Keita skipping away from Maddison. Maddison swiped at him, missed, then had another swipe and made sure he connected. It's a free kick on the edge of the centre circle.
Well, what's really interesting is how Leicester are getting from their own box to the other end. I mean, they basically build up with 6 players. They've got the back 4 and then Ndidi and Tielemans, so they drop in. So they've got 6 against that Liverpool 3, and it means they're getting out really, really well. But the problem is then when they get into the other end, they've only really got Vardy in the box.
Alexander-Arnold helps it on towards Salah. Offside flag is up. Watford against Villa is on TalkSport 2 on Saturday as well. And West Ham against Leicester is on TalkSport 2 at 5:30 on Saturday. Is it? At the same time as Tottenham against Norwich? Interesting. Producer is sending me a note there, says it feels like a Champions League night tonight. It might be next season for these two teams. If West Ham are playing at the same time as Norwich and Tottenham then on Saturday, that means you can use the app and swipe between the two, can't you? Have you got the app, by the way? Do I need to teach you that? Because you're not very good.
Yes,
you're not very good on that phone, are you?
No. You got what? How
Here's Salah through the centre. Offside flag is up.
How much tech did you get for Christmas, Sam?
Lots. I'm a tech geek.
I got a pen.
Useless.
I got a pen.
Yeah.
With different colours.
Leicester have a free kick on the edge of their 18-yard box. I made it. My New Year's resolution for 2020 is to get you on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok.
Yes, okay, that is a challenge. If you can do that, good luck.
Soyuncu just taking his breath here. Look, they're waiting as long as possible to take this free kick. Leicester City just getting in large hunks of air because there's nowhere really for them to pass the ball. The press is on again.
But if you look how they're setting up, you've got Ndidi and Tielemans just inside the likes of Salah and Mane. So if they do go short, they've got an overload there, and it's worked really well for them so far, Leicester.
Well, they've got long out towards the right to Barnes, and then Pratt goes on to take it out towards the far touchline. Infield to Johnny Evans. Evans now across to Soyuncu, and now it's on to Chilwell. Chilwell on the halfway line, clips it forward, and Jamie Vardy's got some space here. He gets onto it, sends it into Maddison, just couldn't take it into his body as he tried to twirl. And ran into Henderson, gave the ball away, and it's back with Alisson away to our left-hand side. But it's a real fierce match, this. Really edgy. And there's a high level of competition and lots of pressure. And yet people are making mistakes, but I think they're making mistakes because of the way the opposition are pressing, harassing and applying themselves in the fixture.
Yeah, I got to say as well, the Foxes have showed their teeth a few times. You know, going forward, they know exactly what they're doing, that game plan. A couple of times Chilwell has played that ball into the channel. Gomez has been sucked out. Vardy's ran in behind. They've built up really, really well. It's been a fantastic first half so far from the Foxes.
Yeah, a real good tactical battle. Here is Chilwell back into Tielemans. Across to Johnny Evans, who's in the side of the centre circle, being rushed by Mane, who thought he was going to grab it. He didn't. It went to Ricardo Pereira, who's crossed into the boxes, headed away, dabbed away by Gomez into the path of Firmino. And there's a bit of confusion between Robertson and Henderson, and Leicester have got it back again. Ndidi, Pratt out wide to Pereira, a little skip infield, pass Henderson, runs towards the edge of the box, tries to squeeze it through, couple of ricochets like a pinball on the edge of the penalty area for Liverpool, and they just about managed to get it clear up to the halfway line. And Ndidi chasing back, trying to snatch it off Firmino. He switches the play out to Alexander-Arnold, who gallops into the Leicester half. There's loads of space for Salah, far post. Evans is watching all the way and guides his header out to the far touchline. And then Leicester play the ball brilliantly upfield towards the halfway line. And if there was just a little half turn there from Barnes, Vardy was able and willing to latch on to the end of a long ball forward, but it was great work from both teams.
Absolutely brilliant defending here. We spoke to Johnny Evans, didn't we, before the game started? There he is with a clearing header. Not only that though, he follows the ball, chases it down, wins back possession and builds an attack, and they've got the throw. Fantastic.
Liverpool haven't been able to call on the services of Fabinho for such a long time, and he was key prior to his injury, but they've just started to learn how to deal with that. They've had to rotate that central midfield area. Wijnaldum, Henderson, or given away by Alexander-Arnold. Maddison through the centre, Pratt takes it on, chests it down, Vardy's coming, so is Joe Gomez, who nips in ahead of them all and shoots the ball out towards this near side. Chilwell allows it to go for a throw, and they want to move it quickly here, Leicester. Right on the touchline on the near side, trying to throw it in towards the edge of the penalty area.
At the minute, it's the two Liverpool fullbacks that are really helping them out, getting round on the cover superbly, otherwise Leicester would be in.
Yeah, Robertson just came across, didn't he, just to help out as Vardy and Pratt went through. Gomez had to help out Van Dijk as well. Here is Chilwell flicking it forward. A flick back by Pratt. Back to him by Chilwell. On the byline. Sends it back to Vardy. One touch to set it and the other touch to shoot. The offside flag went up anyway. I think everybody thought that Pratt was offside in the build-up to that move once it was first played to him. And indeed he was. But they allowed the play to develop for VAR. By the way, the cricket returns tomorrow on TalkSport 2, 7:30am, day 2. Neil Manthorpe, Darren Goff, Mark Butcher, Gareth Batty, whole team's out there. Fantastic coverage this morning. I was listening on my way to Tottenham against Brighton earlier on. It's live on TalkSport 2, the second day. South Africa currently 277 for 9. Here is Trent Alexander-Arnold down the right-hand side. Tries to send the ball low and hard into Salah, who just jumps over it. Mane retrieves it on the far side. A little bit of a boot from Mane, who tries to take on Pereira into Salah. A little twist and a turn. Tries to thread it through. Past Ndidi, but can't beat him. Comes back out into midfield where Henderson prods the ball to the left. Then Wijnaldum just strokes his studs over the ball, gives it back to Henderson. 29 breathless minutes played in the final game on Boxing Day. You've heard all of them across the TalkSport network, and it's Leicester City 0, Liverpool 0. Here is Van Dijk back to Gomez.
Roger Jurgen Klopp there just turning away. A couple of passes from Liverpool, a little bit loose, a little behind their intended target. He's not that happy so far.
Always looks like that. Here's Alexander-Arnold across into the box, away by Soyuncu, chested down by Pratt, edge of the area, outside of the right boot. He tries to swirl it forward to Vardy, beaten in the air though, Vardy, by Gomez, who heads it forward. Keita on to Firmino, back into Wijnaldum, who turns under pressure from Pratt, so all the way back to the halfway line. It's a bit like a chess match this, isn't it? Well, one play that double speed. Here is Mane infield, clipping the ball to the right hand side, but you can see the designs of both coaches, what both teams are trying to do. They're two well coached outfits.
Absolutely. Leicester there with their back four, and they obviously got the midfield five in front of that. A very deep block at the minute. Just ain't Liverpool then. Go on then, can you try and break us down?
Wijnaldum trotting forward slowly and just trying to gesticulate towards Keita to move further forward to try and get in between the lines of Leicester. They work the ball wide towards the left-hand side. Robertson has it now for Liverpool, midway inside Leicester territory. Now Mane takes on slaloms like he used to do down the slopes in Salzburg. Gets dispossessed, it comes back out to Robertson, low cross into the near post, away by Evans. Robertson wants it again, Ricardo Pereira fighting for it, not getting there, goes out for a corner.
Well, a couple of times there, just looking at Wilfred Ndidi, he's got his toe in, timed them perfectly. Really good display so far in terms of breaking up this play from Liverpool.
Goalless, two great chances really early on for Liverpool, who have certainly created the most out of the two teams, but Leicester have come back into it the longer the game has gone on. Here is the corner, then Robertson to take it, far side the left, whipped in towards the near post, flicked into the air by Vardy, falls to Salah, right edge of the area, he dollies it back up into the box, away by Ricardo Pereira. Now it's into Robertson, then back to Alexander-Arnold, whose delivery is pinpoint, and Firmino rises and glides the ball beyond Kasper Schmeichel and puts Liverpool into the lead. That was a quite simply fantastic delivery from Trent Alexander-Arnold, served up on a plate for Firmino, who gobbled up the chance. He scores to put Liverpool in front. It's Leicester 0, Liverpool 1.
Well, it's made here, this goal, by an outstanding, as you say, Alexander-Arnold delivery. Absolutely brilliant. I mean, they clear their lines, Leicester, but he keeps it alive. Robertson sets it back to Alexander-Arnold. He takes one touch just to set himself. There's Firmino just pulling off at the back post between Sionchu and Chilwell. Just gets the faintest of touches. Just drifts off behind Chilwell. Heads it down at Schmeichel's near post. It's made by the ball, though. Absolutely brilliant. But Chilwell doesn't really know what's around him. We saw against Man City, he was caught out a couple of times. He got 1 foot to it, Schmeichel, but he couldn't keep it out.
It's only his second goal in 12 Premier League games, his 7th of the season, but he scored the goal that won the Club World Cup final, and he scored the goal which could put Liverpool in an unassailable position in the Premier League. Listen to the noise of the Liverpool fans over on the far side. It feels too early to say that, but it will be a significant victory were they to win today. They lead by a goal to nil. Roberto Firmino with the goal, but as David has already said, Trent Alexander-Arnold's swirling delivery, pinpoint on the head of the Brazilian, was too much of an invitation to turn down. Challenge in midfield, which the referee allowed to go. Firmino was egged on by the crowd away to our left-hand side in red, who have certainly enjoyed their Christmas by the looks of it. Having a good old time over there. The Leicester fans just silenced by what was a terrifically constructed Liverpool goal. And the team that sit atop of the Premier League lead by a goal to nil. 33 minutes into the game. You're listening to TalkSport. Mane now trying to get in behind. Takes it on. Evans gets a bit befuddled. And Mane gets away from him. Saved by Kasper Schmeichel. An absolutely pivotal and wonderful save by the big Danish goalkeeper. Instinctive. He made himself huge to stop Mane from making it 2-0. Evans got a little bit confused. The ball caught under his feet. Mane escaped. Had the chance, Schmeichel stopped it. What an opportunity.
Oh, it should have been 2-0. Should have been. Evans, as you say, just lost flight of the ball, and then Mane's in on goal on his right peg, looking for that far corner, but Schmeichel made a really good save.
Ricardo Pereira at the other end, looking for Vardy, away by Gomez, far too easily. Cleared upfield by Liverpool. Firmino finds Mane. He's on his hoverboard again, speeding down the left, dancing to the edge of the area, and coming back to help out his defence was Ndidi, and he stuck out one of those huge limbs and poked the ball behind for a corner.
Oh, he's had a really good game, I think. Wilfred Ndidi again gets enough of a toe in. Here's that chance from Mane. As you say, comes out Schmeichel, spreads himself really well. I think he'll be disappointed though with the finish. He looks into the far corner, tries to be clever and reverse it at the near, but actually I should have gone to the far post.
We're still waiting for our first Leicester shot on target. In fact, we're still waiting for our first Leicester shot. And we've played 35 minutes and Liverpool lead by a goal to nil. They have a corner over on the far side to be taken by Robertson. Near post, low ball in towards Henderson, which is headed away by Leicester. Retrieved by Keita midway inside Leicester territory. Keita swirls the ball up towards Van Dijk, but it runs through to Salah. Was there a push there by Van Dijk on Chilwell? There was. Free kick.
Well, the problem Leicester have is they bring all 11 back for corners against. So when they do clear the ball, as they have done on most occasions, it's just coming straight back in. And with the delivery that Liverpool have got, it's just putting them under all sorts of pressure.
Leicester 0, Liverpool 1 on TalkSport with Nissan commercial vehicles built to deliver. It's so difficult though, isn't it? Because Leicester very much were competitive in the game, but you just get the feeling that the wind has been really sucked out of their sails with what was almost not an unavoidable goal, but such a well-constructed goal that it's difficult to criticise too many in blue.
It is, but if Firmino didn't knock it in, there's another one at the back post as well who could have done. So the marking was really poor.
Tielemans down the left, Pratt trying to get beyond the defender Gomez. On the edge of the area, you've got Tielemans once again. Goes to Maddison instead. He cuts past Firmino, gets to the edge of the area, jumps over the ball, tries to go past. Well, he did manage to go past Henderson, but not Trent Alexander-Arnold, who took it off him and then played the ball forward down the right side. Henderson takes over now, being chased by Maddison. Maddison with a poor tackle. Free kick given. And Maddison's got to be a little bit careful because there's a couple of times he's done that now.
Yep, I think he knows. Obviously, he just can't let Liverpool away. Once they get ahead of steam up on the break, they're so dangerous. So a couple of times, as you say, he's made some poor challenges. That one on Jordan Henderson, he knows he's not really going to run away from him, so he actually could have stayed on his feet there.
Henderson back to Gomez and then across to Van Dijk. And Liverpool, they look like they're ready to be champions, don't they? They've got a little bit of an air about them. I mean, I think that comes when you start winning trophies on a regular basis. You get that sort of swagger about you, don't you?
Well, we heard some of the players say that it's an addiction. You know, once you start winning, you just want to keep winning. You can see that about their performance so far.
I mean, you've got mates in this squad and they've been WhatsApping you pictures of themselves with trophies, haven't they?
That's right, and that's lovely, isn't it? You know, obviously proud of it. Club World Champions, obviously European champions as well. Probably going to be Premier League champions. Really pleased for them.
Salah trying to get in behind Soyuncu, who read that, managed to take it out to the touchline, and then Tielemans. Dicey pass back to Ndidi, who gets it back to Schmeichel, and Leicester bring it clear. The ball is clipped long by Schmeichel up towards Vardy. Alexander-Arnold wins the header, but he wasn't leaning on the back of Vardy. It was a offside flag up against Vardy.
Well, that's where, to me, Schmeichel's got to be a little bit bolder and braver. He had the press from Mane, but he could have played his way out. Instead, he's gone long. Vardy was expecting him to play out, so he didn't get back onside.
Could have been 2-0 if it hadn't have been for that save from Schmeichel. We have got two very good goalkeepers on show. Schmeichel has had a very good season with Leicester, even now at the age of 33. You know, he's adopted a new diet and fitness regime. He trains twice a day, studies hours and hours of video material, helps other goalkeepers in his spare time. He strives to be the best he can be. And then you've got at the other end Alisson Becker, who's such a commanding goalkeeper. You know, he's been so big for them in the massive games they've had, like the finals against Spurs, the World Club final against Flamengo, the game against Salzburg and Monterrey and Napoli and Barcelona last season, in which he sort of, you know, made massive saves. I think in those games I mentioned, he saved all 26 opposition shots on target in those games. Big moments need big players. He's certainly one. Here come Liverpool coming forward, looking for Salah. Ball into the box, which is cleared by Chilwell. Mane tries to recycle it. Henderson goes dancing into the box, and across comes Chilwell and puts it out. There's a little bit lastminute.com there from Chilwell. And a playing away for a throw-in.
It was, but again, it comes from a simple throw-in that they get right. You can tell they've worked on this on the training ground. I mean, just simple situation. A lot of teams probably don't work on, but you can tell they've got chances from throws.
And Salah again gets another opportunity from a throw, tries to guide it back to the edge of the area. It's a blue shirt that gets there instead of a red one though, and it's clipped towards halfway. Van Dijk hangs in the air so elegantly and nods the ball into the path of Robertson on halfway, and they build again.
Oh, that was the key, wasn't it? Nods it into the path. He doesn't just head it clear, he finds a teammate. Outstanding.
They are a very good team. Liverpool lead by 1-0. Leicester are a good team as well. It's not over yet, folks. These two teams right at the top of the Premier League table. Of course, if Leicester were to lose today, that would give encouragement to Manchester City, who could leapfrog them tomorrow when they go to Wolverhampton Wanderers, a game which is also live on TalkSport. It finishes off our 10 games of Christmas. Here is Pereira, played in behind Barnes, but Vardy was quick enough to snap and try and win it. Can't get it to his teammate, and it's cleared away.
Well, it's a hard ball for him to control, though. I don't actually think that was the intended target from Pereira.
But Vardy reacted quicker than anybody else, didn't he? Salah, dispossessed by Ndidi, again does very, very well. And then it's infield from Tielemans, on to Maddison, into Barnes, but Barnes is immediately engaged by Robertson. It's turned over, and Liverpool come on the attack again. Mane getting towards the edge of the box. He needs an option. Salah spins in behind Soyuncu. The ball doesn't come his way. Goes back out to Henderson. 5 minutes before half-time on TalkSport. Leicester 0, Liverpool 1. Here is Alexander-Arnold. Back infield it goes to Gomez, and then on to Henderson, and then thrust it out to Van Dijk, further on to Keita, and then on to Mane. Mane, the Senegalese, just slowing the pace of the game down, content to keep hold of possession here, and then guiding the ball back towards the halfway line. Van Dijk, 3 steps forward, then over the halfway line, just a little jink on towards the left, and Keita exchanges passes with Mane, gets to the edge of the area. Keita still going here. Soyuncu has to come across from the centre half position, intervene, does take it away, and gets hemmed in by the corner flag by Mane before he plays it against him. It goes out of play. Oh, and it's a Leicester throw. He wasn't expecting that. Keita went bounding forward, Soyuncu came across, the ball went out of play, and it's away for a throw. I think it may now, after being thrown in from that far side. They're going to a corner kick?
Yep, Liverpool corner. That was brilliant from Keita, bursting through that midfield. I mean, they've got so many quick players in the middle of the park, just struggling at the minute once they get a run on Leicester, just to keep up with them.
Here is the corner then from Trent Alexander-Arnold. The ball in the quadrant over on the far side, and it's whipped in towards the near post, but Jamie Vardy jumps and leaps and heads it clear, but there's no one to get it clear for Leicester, and they're still hemmed in deep inside their own half. Eventually they launch it long, chested down by Tielemans, and then it didn't reach Barnes, and Vardy had sprinted into a really good position, but Leicester didn't realise they didn't get the ball and then see the chance, so that move broke down, but the idea was right there. Mane coming forward again for Liverpool. Firmino back to Mane, away by Evans, comes back again straight away. Henderson to the left, Robertson on the edge of the centre circle is Keita. Back inside that centre circle is Gomez.
It's really controlled now, isn't it, from Liverpool? They're picking their opportunities, when to go forward, when to attack, when to slow it down. Really mature, composed here.
Yeah, approaching half-time on Boxing Day. I hope you've had your fill of Christmas turkey. I must admit, when I was putting the leftover turkey in the fridge last night, the only thing I was disappointed about missing today was that turkey.
Could you not have brought it on the bike?
I really fancied a bit more of that turkey. I'll raid the fridge later, don't worry. Here's Gomez across to Van Dijk, and then back to Alisson. Alisson to Van Dijk over on the far side. Tottenham-Brighton earlier on today was the way we started our festive game day. Tottenham having to come from behind. Leicester have got to come from behind here. They trail by 1-0. But it isn't against the run of play. Liverpool had chances with Mane and Salah early in the game. Liverpool should have been in front before they eventually did go into the lead thanks to Firmino. They're working really hard here to maintain their authority. Gomez picking the ball up from Alisson as a press on from Leicester, but it's very easily beaten, and you know what that means. Liverpool are in space down the right side with Henderson. Mane just trotting back into a number 10 position. Keita's gone on into the most advanced position. Salah is wide on the right hand side, and Ndidi wins the ball, and it's picked up eventually by Ndidi, who strokes it out on the near side.
Well, I've just given you a thumbs up there, because I think Wilfred Ndidi's been probably their best player so far for Leicester. Outstanding, breaking the play up, but that was uncharacteristic of him, passing it off the pitch.
John Swift has scored for Reading. They lead by 0-0 against Queen's Park Rangers, and apparently it was an absolute belter, 25 yards out. Now they lead QPR by 0-0. It's 1-0 to Liverpool here. We're still waiting for Leicester's first shot. Here's Dennis Pratt trying to run the ball clear, robbed by Firmino.
I think he was lucky there. He didn't really know what was coming on his inside shoulder. There was Firmino, bundles of energy trying to win that ball back.
Free kick for Johnny Evans. What will Brendan Rodgers be saying at half-time when he goes into that dressing room? Will he make any tweaks? I know in the game at Anfield, at half-time in that match, he brought all Brighton on at half-time. Will he make any sort of significant change like that?
No, I don't think so. I think he'll be really pleased so far. I mean, obviously he knows they're up against a top team here, but they've competed really, really well so far, Leicester.
Here is Robertson onto Mane, back to Robertson again. All the way on the halfway line is Wijnaldum. Now it's on to Henderson. And now Wijnaldum again. Gomez, 15 seconds to go before half-time. Liverpool very much in the process of getting the job done. And in the last 10 minutes or so, David, just decided to conserve a bit of energy and keep hold of the ball. Absolutely. They're picking their opportunities, their times, when to go forward and when not. Very composed, mature here performance from the away team. 1 minute of added time at the end of the first half. Quickly, Maddison wins the ball and tries to rush it up to Vardy. His control isn't great, but Gomez reacts well enough to win it back for Liverpool. And they've got it back again. Yeah, just control, isn't it? Very measured control performance so far. Still another 45 minutes to come here on TalkSport. And then the Sports Bar later on with Jeff Brazier and Gary O'Neill. Here is Maddison deep inside his own territory. Back to Johnny Evans. Evans towards the right. Now it's on to Ricardo Pereira. Back to Evans once again. Steps in past Salah. And then strokes it forward into midfield where Dennis Pratt is waiting. The Belgian clipped forward in behind Van Dijk. Barnes almost got on the end of his clearance, but it was Henderson who got there first, and there was just a brief flicker of hope for the Leicester supporters before half-time. But nothing more than that. They've been kept at arm's length in that first 45 minutes by the champions-elect. It is like they have never been away. World champions, European champions, and 45 minutes away from extending their lead in the Premier League to 13 points and inflicting Leicester's first home defeat of the season. At half-time, courtesy of a goal from Roberto Firmino, it is Leicester 0, Liverpool 1. Well, in that first half, Naby Keita completed more take-ons than the entire Leicester City team combined in the first half. And certainly all the statistics pointed in favour of Liverpool. Apart from maybe possession, they had so many more opportunities than Leicester, who haven't had a shot on or off target in that first 45 minutes. We are underway in the second half. Leicester have given the ball away nice and early. Wijnaldum tries to slide it forward towards Salah. And the blue shirts, white shorts and blue socks of Leicester are defending the goal now away to our left, attacking the goal to our right. Liverpool all in red coming forward now towards the edge of the Leicester penalty area. Salah tries to take it into his body. Tielemans dispossessed as he tries to run away with the ball at his feet. Indeed, he gets it clear, but only as far as Barnes, who's being sandwiched from either side from Mane and Robertson, and Liverpool have come out in the second half with just as much vigour as they finished the first. They have, but Sionchu is not the best starter, giving the ball away a couple of times, a really poor clearance, and then put Tielemans back into trouble again with another poor pass. Not the start you'd hope, certainly, for this Leicester side in the second half. I'll go through the 2-11s in just a second, but Liverpool have the ball. Poor ball infield by Alexander-Arnold. Haven't said that very often today. And then it's played forward now up to Dennis Pratt and then on to Barnes. Harvey Barnes, who just saw that Jamie Vardy did that in between the two centre-backs, last shoulder run, just went to go, and then Barnes didn't play the ball. So they went back and started again. I think that's because he's nervous maybe about giving possession away. They haven't really had a spell on the ball so far. Yeah, he could have played that, turned it down, elected to keep possession. I think that's not a bad idea for this moment. So the 2-11s then. Schmeichel, the goalkeeper, Pereira, Soyuncu, Evans and Chilwell, the back four. Another poor clearance this time by Schmeichel. He looks rattled, I've got to be honest. A few of the Leicester players in the second half have come out not playing their usual selves, not playing their usual game. Indeed, Tielemans, Maddison in midfield with Pratt as well. Barnes supporting Vardy in attack. Liverpool got Alisson in goal. Alexander-Arnold, Gomez, Van Dijk and Robertson. Keita, Henderson and Wijnaldum. Mane, Salah and Firmino, who has scored the only goal of the game. But Liverpool were better in that first 45 minutes, and a lot of people at half-time are getting stuck into Ben Chilwell and to Leicester City in general. Do you think they were as disappointing as is being made out, or as you said, they were between a rock and a hard place? I think it's hard for them. I mean, look, apart from the goal, they could have conceded a couple of times, barring some poor finishing maybe and some good saves from Schmeichel. But they've dominated the ball. They haven't really had that cutting edge, but when they've had the opportunities, Liverpool, they have cut them to ribbons. This is the fifth Boxing Day meeting between these two. Liverpool have won 2 of the previous 4. Here's Maddison, though, on to Barnes. Bit of space for Tielemans. Chilwell is free on the left-hand side. Tielemans goes for goal instead. It takes a deflection, bobbles behind, goes out of play for a corner kick. But he should have passed the ball, because in the left-hand side, bounding into the box at rapid pace was Ben Chilwell, and he was totally free.
Oh, that was much better from the Foxes. Worked it really well to Tielemans. He sent her a goal, but it's on his weaker left foot. He is getting closed down. It's got to be some strike from there. He has to shovel it out wide to Chilwell when he doesn't.
Corner kick to Leicester City at the start of the second half. 3 minutes gone here on Talk Sport in the second 45. Guy stands up, takes a selfie as the corner's about to be taken. Just watch it. Ball's in towards the near post, looking for Vardy. It's headed away by Robertson. Picked up by Pratt. In behind the defence is Maddison. Chance to cross now. Down by the byline. Offside flag goes up.
Late again.
Very late.
But they've taken it quickly here, Liverpool. They're not hanging around.
Yeah, they're not taking any chances with timekeeping today, Liverpool. 32,211 here today. 3,300 have braved the motorway network from Liverpool. And the Liverpool fans are the ones that you can hear over in the far corner. It did start this match with a raucous noise from the Leicester supporters. We had a fabulous light show before kick-off, which really revved up the atmosphere. And Leicester City were hoping to be buoyed by that. Now, listen, it was a good, intriguing first 45 minutes, but Liverpool just took a grip on the game after scoring that goal and squeezed it. Here is Wijnaldum back to Van Dijk, who's deep inside his own half. Alisson comes to the edge of his area, and that's a poor clearance by him, but Barnes can't get there. And Brendan Rodgers actually, and Dennis Pratt, a bit disappointed with Barnes. They didn't shuffle across quicker and win the ball.
He should have done. Poor first touch, should have killed that and been on the attack.
Here on the right-hand side is Alexander-Arnold, bounding into a right-wing position. His cross is blocked by Chilwell, goes out of play level with the edge of the penalty area, and it's away for a Liverpool throw.
Well, that's much better from Chilwell. Gets close enough just to block that cross into the box.
Keita from the throw, takes it over Chilwell's head, and Didi comes back and helps out. Schmeichel comes across, collects the ball, and it's eventually cleared by the big Dane, who comes running to the edge of his area, screaming at players in front of him. Wants an outlet, hasn't got one, then bowls it out overarm towards the right side, and Ricardo Pereira, who looks to take on Wijnaldum, loses that duel. Wijnaldum turns it over. Now Firmino's got it midway inside Leicester territory. On to Keita. Keita's 10 yards outside the box now. Infield it goes to Henderson. Too much space for him. Wijnaldum square of him. Further on is Salah. Out wide is Keita once more. Tielemans shuffles across. Maddison goes out there half-heartedly. It comes back in field from Trent Alexander-Arnold. Wijnaldum. Now it's on to Mane. Mane trying to turn. Salah. Soyuncu gets there first this time, and then prodded away by Ndidi. And then there's so much red which smothers Tielemans. It's very difficult for Leicester to get out.
It is, but this is where they've just got to be bold and brave. They can't listen to the crowd here, and I think Schmeichel did. That's why he played a really poor throw out of Pereira, put him into all sorts of trouble. They lost possession. Look, they're not happy, the crowd, but this is the way they're going to get out. They've got to stick with the team here.
Pereira out on the near touchline, on towards Dennis Pratt. Again, reaching for it, but not getting there. And Mane regains possession for the team that are top of the table and leading by a goal to nil. Alexander-Arnold speeds forward, deep delivery to the far post, looking for Robertson, guarded behind by Pereira, out of play and away for a corner kick.
Well, one Liverpool fullback trying to pick out the other. Great covering here from Ricardo Pereira. Just read the diagonal ball and the run from Robertson. Just does enough just to flick it out for a corner.
And Leicester conceded 2 late goals against Everton in the Cup this time last week, one against Manchester City on Saturday. They don't concede too many second half goals. Brendan Rodgers' team have been statistically the best second half team in the country recently, and they are unbeaten here this season, but they're behind here by a goal to nil, and Liverpool have a corner. Away to our left, Trent Alexander-Arnold with his arms outstretched, stops it for Robertson. An out-swinging ball deep towards the far post, missed by Schmeichel, comes back to Salah, tries to dab it over the top of the goalkeeper, and it goes over the bar as well, and it goes out for a goal kick away to our left-hand side. 81 minutes gone, by the way, in the game in the Championship tonight. Reading against QPR. Reading still lead through that John Swift goal.
And they just, Mane there, just put his hand across Schmeichel's face. But look, Ricardo Pereira again giving the ball away. I think he's, out of all the Leicester defenders, he's having a really poor game so far.
Which is a shame, because he's had such a great season so far, Ricardo Pereira.
But he's got to retain the ball so many times. Unforced errors, just gifting the ball back to Liverpool.
And it's not that he hasn't got the ability. It is, like you say, they're reacting to the pressure a little bit here.
Yeah, they've got to be braver here. Play their own game. Try to just blank out that crowd just for this moment in time.
Here is Robertson, swirling ball into Firmino, missed by him. Chilwell manages to get it clear out towards the near side, ahead of Salah, who is also darting into the box. It goes out for a throw-in down by the corner flag. Robertson's come back to make a better angle. Wants to take the throw deeper. He's going to be allowed to do it as well. Robertson just tossing the ball around between his fingers, and then guides it back to Henderson, and all the way back via Van Dijk. Across to Gomez, and Liverpool look to build from the back again. A long angle ball out towards the near side. Barnes with the header down, controlled by Wijnaldum. A timely return to fitness for him after picking up an injury against Watford. Keita sliding it down the right, left by Salah. Alexander-Arnold's low cross into the box is almost missed by everyone. Pereira somehow gets it into the air. Soyuncu eventually was the one who cleared it. Pereira teed it up for him and he managed to get it further away. But again, Leicester were on the back foot. Again, Liverpool were putting their foot on the gas, and Henderson's trying to find Alexander-Arnold, who again was in great space down the right hand side. Tielemans dawdled. It's delivered towards the back post, and Mane taken down brilliantly by the Senegalese international. Leicester inviting more pressure. Robertson swirls the ball to the far post. Tielemans stops it from going behind. It's hacked clear by Chilwell, but not properly. It's given straight back to Trent Alexander-Arnold. Leicester under pressure once more. Chilwell having a little bit of a wobble. Here is Henderson, across into the box, away by Evans, back to Henderson again. Another cross into the box, looking for Mane. Stretches out his boot but can't bring it down, and Pratt will take it to the far reaches of the penalty area. Then it's given away. Back into the box, Firmino with a chance to dab it home, but he doesn't get proper contact on it. Well, Pratt there again doing what Leicester have done far too often, not fully finishing the job and allowing Robertson to rob him of the ball and get the cross in, and Firmino almost made it 2-0.
Absolutely, that decision making, you spoke about it in the first half. There, he's almost tried to play out when it wasn't on there. He knows maybe if he gives possession away, the crowd will get on him, but if you've got to clear your line, just clear them.
They haven't got out of their own half in this second 45 minutes, Leicester.
No, they're camped on the edge of their box.
Keita fighting with Ndidi, trying to get to halfway. Ndidi struggles but manages it, then tries to take on Henderson, and Henderson turns it over. And here is Salah now, and Leicester again couldn't even get over the halfway line then, despite the intense scrap from Ndidi. Out wide it goes to Keita. 56 minutes gone on Talk Sport in the second half of the final game on Boxing Day. Leicester City 0, Liverpool 1, and the goal coming from Firmino in the first half. Here is Robertson on the left side. Back infield it goes to Wijnaldum, toying, playing with Leicester City now. They know they're going to get another goal sooner rather than later. Here's Gomez down the right, onto Alexander-Arnold. He made the first one, steers it into the box, comes all the way through to Robertson, back into a congested penalty area. Not the best delivery. Second one was better. Salah there to finish it off. Saved brilliantly by Schmeichel. Not once, but twice, onto the post and out. Well, the Leicester City goal leads a charmed life. The offside flag went up ultimately towards the end, but that was a cracking opportunity for Mohamed Salah.
Oh, he should score. The flag's gone up anyway, but Johnny Evans with the miscued clearance goes right under him, falls with Robertson, helps it back into the box. I think it's Firmino, just half a yard offside, heads it back behind the Schmeichel with two saves. Brilliant. But they look out on their feet at the minute, Leicester, very leggy. Indeed, he's not covering the same sort of ground, puffing his cheeks out, a few tight clearances, misplaced passes, unforced errors from the Foxes.
Yeah, new legs about to be shepherded onto the pitch, and Brendan Rodgers is about to bring on Mark Albrighton. Nick Stow just going through the formalities down in front of us. Albrighton about to get onto the field of play. He came on in the second half of the game at Anfield, helped them get back on level terms before that late penalty went Liverpool's way thanks to VAR. And they're just about to make that change now, and that change is going to be Harvey Barnes, who has been a little bit lacklustre in this game. He did get a real whack during the game at the Etihad Stadium last Saturday, and he is replaced by Mark Albrighton.
Well, it doesn't help, and really the player who's got the best passing ability on the pitch, maybe Kasper Schmeichel, 3-4 times kicked it out of play or kicked it straight back to Liverpool players, put his team under pressure.
giving it away inside their 18-yard box again. Tielemans back to Ndidi, straight back to Henderson down the right side. Now on to Alexander-Arnold, steers the ball centrally. Schmeichel manages to clasp it this time, pulls it into his chest, and then immediately distributes downfield looking for Tielemans out on the left touchline. Can't control it and keep it in, it goes out of play.
Well, I can't understand that, why he's looked to restart play so early. A really difficult ball for Tielemans to pull out the sky. They've been bang under pressure. Just settle down and try and keep the ball for a moment or two. Get your team up the pitch. He hasn't done that.
Hurried and flustered Leicester City.
They're rattled, aren't they?
Under pressure here. And Liverpool, who lead by a goal to nil, have got them on the ropes. They look a bit punch drunk to Leicester City. And if Liverpool can apply the knockout blow in the next few moments, then that will be game, set and match. Maybe not just for this match, but for all of them. Here's Firmino down the right, trying to feed Alexander-Arnold. Too heavy this time, and it runs down the right channel, now to play away to our left-hand side. Leicester City 0, Liverpool 1 on TalkSport with Now TV. Don't forget, Brighton versus Bournemouth and Norwich versus Tottenham live this Saturday. You can watch it with the Now TV Sky Sports Day Pass for just a one-off payment of $9.99. Pratt on halfway. Leicester trying to play out successfully. Robertson beaten by Albrighton, headed down by Vardy, onto Maddison, just overran it slightly, and Trent Alexander-Arnold is able to clear.
Oh, such a shame, because again it was really good football, composed from their own goal kick, working the ball out wide. Albrighton, fantastic feet, great little diagonal up to Vardy, and just a heavy touch from Maddison.
Look, Rodgers is a good manager. Liverpool will remember that. He took charge of them and finished in decent positions, 7th, 2nd, 6th in his 3 full seasons there. But this is a team that are at the beginning of a journey. They've had great moments in this game without really making capital out of it, but they've been a bit naive at times too. 1-0 the scoreline in Liverpool's favour. But you're right, there's been so many good moments for Leicester as well, but they can't be just skated over. You have to appreciate those too. Here is Alexander-Arnold. I don't think they've spent quite as much as Liverpool either. Here is Soyuncu across to the left-hand side, playing the ball against Keita. Oh, a corner has been given. Soyuncu runs his hands through his incredibly long locks. In exasperation, he thought that was a goal kick. The Leicester fans behind the goal did too. But a corner has been given. Keita went towards the ball, certainly got the final touch.
Yeah, should have been a goal kick. He's got that one wrong. I can understand the frustration there from Soyuncu and Ndidi.
Reading still leading by a goal to nil in the Championship against Queen's Park Rangers. Here it's 1-0 to Liverpool, and we've got half an hour to go on the Boxing Day game day. Here's the cross on the right-hand side, in towards the near post, headed away. Back with Salah forward, and then collected by Keita. Oh, Jamie Vardy might be in here. He's got away from a diving Henderson, and now he's running at Gomez, but he's on his own. He needs support. He's run at Gomez. Gomez has brought him down. It's a free kick. Well, I must admit, for all the world, I didn't think it was going to be a free kick. It's a yellow card for Gomez as well. But Jamie Vardy had nowhere to go.
Well, he done brilliantly just to make something of this. Just nicked it past Jordan Henderson. He's all alone. There's no one in action get anywhere near him. Plays the ball in between the legs of Gomez. Does he take him from behind? Maybe a little nick of the ankle, possibly. Looks like he tripped himself up there, Joe Gomez, and obviously Vardy at the same time.
Well, listen, it's a yellow card for Joe Gomez, and I'm not too sure Jamie Vardy will be complaining about that, and nor will the Leicester City fans.
I think a good thing for Leicester is they actually retained the ball there, defending a corner and got up the pitch. This is in a really good area. I imagine this will be an in-swinger from Maddison.
It'll be taken by Maddison in towards the far post, and it's gone just narrowly wide. He hit it right-footed, curling it towards that far post. It was arcing towards the goal, but it wasn't curling enough to trouble Alisson.
Oh, he's put too much on it, to be honest. It's nowhere near the likes of Evans or Soyuncu. He's got to do better for me.
Wolves against Man City tomorrow is live on TalkSport, and South Africa against England in the first test is live on TalkSport 2 from 7:30am tomorrow morning. Oh, Alisson under pressure, miskicks the ball, and he kicks it straight out of play, and all of a sudden there's a bit of noise from the Leicester support. They start to believe that there might well be something in this for them yet. They've survived a number of scares. It's still only 1-0. Evans has it inside the Liverpool half. This is the first sustained spell of possession that Leicester have had in opposition territory. They turn the ball over again, down the right side. It's away by Robertson. It's out of play and away for a Leicester City throw.
Well, it's Robertson there, puts Becker into all sorts of trouble. Alisson passing the ball back, drilled it at him. He had no choice, he got to clear his line, but it was a poor kick straight out of play.
Madison from Albrighton's pass, back out to the right. Ricardo Pereira in behind the fullback, low cross in, first one's repelled, comes back out to Ricardo Pereira. His ball back to Albrighton was poor. Second turn was exquisite, into the area, low ball across the face of goal, stopped by Van Dijk, half cleared, comes back to Pratt, encouraged to shoot, he does, it's wide.
Oh, it's better though. Much better from the home team, really encouraging. I mean, Pereira tries to get the ball into the box, it's cut out, a poor pass back, but then he does a lovely little 180-degree turn, spin away from Robertson, drives into the box, but there's Van Dijk, that man mountain in the way, so hard to get the ball past him, just spreads himself and does enough. But again, encouraging signs for the home team.
What's happened here? Well, Virgil van Dijk has said something to the referee. The referee has called over Jordan Henderson, his captain. Henderson's come across. Van Dijk's in conversation with Michael Oliver. Interesting. No resolution there that we can be too clear about. And the ball is back in play, and it's on halfway with Liverpool, who scoop it forward, looking for Mane, away by Evans, flipped forward by Tielemans. Lovely ball. Vardy onto Madison. Vardy's offside when he played it. The flag is up. Oh, it's small margins, isn't it? Because that was played with his back to goal into Madison, who was racing through the centre of the Liverpool defence, and you never know. There was something more about Leicester in the last 5 minutes or so, David Connolly.
Well, if I'm being critical, he's always on the shoulder, isn't he, Vardy? But he's been offside a couple of times now. That's too many for me. Just got to get back on side fractionally early, just to keep those attacks alive.
Sam Matterface and David Connolly in the commentary box of the King Power Stadium today. And I've been to 2 football grounds today, and not one mince pie, by the way. Full time, Reading against QPR, it finished 1-0 to the Royals. Here is Trent Alexander-Arnold, high over the top of the Leicester defence. Kasper Schmeichel claims there's going to be a change for Liverpool in just a second. A bit of movement. Divock Origi and James Milner getting ready to come on here. It's just the one change so far in the game. Leicester have made it. Harvey Barnes for Albrighton. And they have been a little bit better since Albrighton came onto the field. It might be just a coincidence, but certainly Leicester have had more of the ball and more half chances. Here they come again, down the left-hand side with Chilwell, into Madison, who looked to step over it. Was an unwise decision because Henderson was so close.
He's lost the ball a few times, hasn't he, today, Madison? He's got to keep hold of it.
And now it's been turned over by Liverpool, and Soyuncu's had to outwit Salah, get back and funnel back into a good position. Leicester defend the second ball from Keita well as well. But they're ratting around Keita on the far side. It's stuck to him like glue. Liverpool have got it. The Leicester crowd are infused here. And it's forward by Chilwell down the line for Vardy to chase. And he gets there ahead of Gomez. Turns the ball over. But Van Dijk comes speeding across, slides into position, and then steers it out of play. Read the game really well there, Van Dijk.
Well, I'm really pleased for Leicester because I didn't think they were as bad as maybe people were making out in that first half, and they've stuck with their game plan. They've passed out of this pressure and, maybe ignored the crowd for a little bit, who were maybe getting on their cases a little bit, want them to go a bit more direct, but they stuck to their principles. They've grown into this second half and they're much better.
Yeah, I didn't subscribe to the thought that we were getting at half-time from some that was suggesting that Leicester had not turned up in the game. I thought that was just a little bit too much. I thought there was elements of their play which gave you a sort of glint of what they were capable of, and we're seeing a bit more of that now. Lovely ball across by Ndidi. On to Pereira, a yard in from the touchline is Albrighton. Now Ndidi again, motoring towards the edge of the 18-yard box, and Henderson comes across. It's stuck out of play down by the corner flag, and it's a Leicester City throw, 23 to go.
Well, Albrighton and Ricardo Pereira have got a much better understanding now on this right-hand side. They're retaining the ball better and seem to know where each other wants the ball. Encouraging signs again.
Pratt trying to get on the end of an Albrighton ball forward, and it's a little bit too hefty, and it goes through to Alisson, and they're able to clear Liverpool away to our right. Divock Origi just going through a few quad stretches. Milner doing some shuttle runs. They're waiting to be allowed to come onto the field of play. Alisson's just dropped the ball at his own feet and then cleared towards Mane. Pereira's wrestling with him. Mane's juggled with the ball and come infield, trying to get away from Ndidi. They're getting closer to Liverpool now, and they've won the ball back, Leicester, on the near side. Good ball infield, intelligent from Pratt, then on to Vardy. He's got two to his left. Can't really get away from Gomez though. Plays it on to Albrighton instead, who's by the byline. Deep cross towards the far post. Maddison is underneath it. So is Keita, retreating and defending well for Liverpool. Back out wide left. Leicester still have it. Chilwell, Maddison, Chilwell again. Down to the byline. Produce a cross. Vardy's lurking here. Doesn't quite get a clean header on the ball. It spills away to the edge of the penalty area. Firmino's got it, and now they're in trouble, Leicester, because Firmino's found Mane. Salah has been sent clear. He's running with Soyuncu to the edge of the penalty area. Salah comes in field, tries a shot, blocked by Soyuncu, spoons into the air, and Johnny Evans will try and just guide the ball out of play and let it go out for a corner. 1-0 Liverpool.
Superb defending there from Soyuncu. Tracked the runner Mo Salah brilliantly, but how quick were they on the attack? Counter, fantastic.
Another light speed attack from the stars of Liverpool. Here's the change then. Is it Naby Keita and Mohamed Salah coming off here? And on comes Divock Origi and James Milner. They're taking their time. I thought the new rule suggested that they should have gone off behind the goal there. 1st of June. Anyone? Origi and Milner now coming onto the field of play. We're waiting for the corner, which will be taken on this near side, and it will be Trent Alexander-Arnold who delivers it. 20 minutes to go. Could be a big 20 minutes in the title race, this. Here is the corner from the near side by Trent Alexander-Arnold into a congested penalty area. Did it hit a hand? I think it did. It's a penalty. Michael Oliver is being berated by Kasper Schmeichel. I think it hit Soyuncu's arm. He's saying his arms were tight to his body. The referee didn't hesitate. He had a hold of Van Dijk's shirt. Yes, his arm was out to his left-hand side. He might well have tried to pull it back. It was certainly accidental. But under the current interpretation of the handball law, I think that's going to be given as a penalty.
I think it is. It just takes a little nick off Jamie Vardy, who tries to clear it, but actually it flicks off his head. Goes back into Soyuncu. He can't react. Comes off his left arm. Michael Oliver, he had no doubt that was a penalty.
Well, I doubt it will get overturned by VAR, because it's definitely not a clear and obvious error by Michael Oliver, who has given the penalty. James Milner scored a penalty, which was ironically given actually by VAR in the game between the two at Anfield, and he is going to take this one. He finished off Leicester then. Kasper Schmeichel's actually saved 2 penalties in shootouts this season, and he got quite close to İlkay Gündoğan's penalty kick at the Etihad last Saturday. Can he get close here and keep Leicester in the game? This is a big moment. If he saves it, the momentum might shift in Leicester's favour. If Milner scores, it could be all over. He's finished them off once this season. Milner steps up right-footed, finishes them off again. 20 minutes to go on Boxing Day. Liverpool go 2-0 in front. The goalkeeper went to the left. It went just to his right. Liverpool established a 2-goal lead. The only time in the game they've been under pressure. They've reacted. They've got a lucky break. They've scored. And now they may be in an unassailable position in the Premier League. It's 2-0.
What was that, his first touch, I think, Milner, when he came on? Real composure there, sent Schmeichel the wrong way, and that's really tough for Leicester to take, because I think they've been excellent in their second half, but they've got one opportunity here. They've taken it. He almost stroked it sort of halfway down the middle, really. Just put enough on the penalty, just in case that trailing leg of Schmeichel was still in the air, that it went over it. Very clever from Milner.
Well taken penalty from James Milner. He doesn't usually miss. And Liverpool lead by 2-0. He scored a penalty against Arsenal recently. He got the 95th minute winner from the penalty spot against Leicester earlier in the season, and he has got the goal, which has made it 2-0 here. There has been a substitution. Iosi Perez has come onto the field of play, and that is the second Leicester change. Here is Divock Origi trying to bound forward down the left-hand side onto Firmino, and there's a foul there by Johnny Evans.
That should be a yellow. It's a poor challenge from Johnny.
Dennis Pratt was the man who was replaced. It is a yellow for Johnny Evans. Here is the free kick then to be taken deep inside the Leicester half of the field. And Trent Alexander-Arnold has left this for Andy Robertson. Maybe that yellow card didn't go to Evans. I think it might have gone to Maddison for kicking the ball away, possibly. Here is Robertson with the delivery towards the far post, headed away by Soyuncu. Picked up by Trent Alexander-Arnold, down the right, produces a cross, deep towards the far post. Ricardo Pereira springs into the air and just about gets there ahead of Mane. It's now taken on by Van Dijk. Down the left it goes, collected by Milner, back in field towards Van Dijk, shuffles it on. Now here's Henderson, further wide towards the right is Wijnaldum. No need to put the foot on the accelerator now for Liverpool. They can just ease off the gas. Milner into Robertson. And then on to Henderson once again. And Liverpool just controlling the game like they did towards the end of the first half. Up to Mane. Then on to Firmino. Firmino trying to spiral forward. Milner in a bit of space. Further wide towards the right. Alexander-Arnold. Firmino. One touch to control. One touch to finish it. High into the roof of the net. Schmeichel nowhere. Leicester finished. And Roberto Firmino scores his second goal of the game. He charges over to the touchline. He jumps into the arms of his manager Jurgen Klopp. He knows how significant this victory is going to be. Liverpool leads second place Leicester by 3-0 on Boxing Day and are just about to stretch their lead in the Premier League to 13 huge points.
Well, it's fantastic football again from Liverpool. That man, Alexander-Arnold, brilliant cross into the box, picks out Roberto Firmino. How cool and calm is he? Takes his time, one touch to set himself and then the second just to arrow it into the top corner, but they work it ever so well. Narrow up Leicester, then work the ball wide. Alexander-Arnold just drills it low across the ground, just pulls it back ever so slightly. Roberto Firmino, one touch to set, and then he really calm and assured just to lift it into the roof. Brilliant finish.
Half an hour played in the second half and Liverpool have a 3-goal lead over Leicester. Live on TalkSport with Nissan Commercial Vehicles, built to deliver. Well, this Liverpool team is built to deliver, isn't it?
Yeah, it really is. I mean, just looking at how they picked them apart, they're working the ball, little passes infield in the middle of the park, just narrowing up that Leicester defence, a bit like Man City did, then hitting them out wide. Obviously, when you've got the quality that Alexander possesses, he can pick someone out in the air, he can cut them back. He's got all sorts of types of delivery.
Maddison coming off and Chowdhury coming on. Leicester have got West Ham and Newcastle away from home coming up before they play Wigan in the FA Cup. Maybe, just maybe, Brendan Rodgers is just conserving a little bit of energy. But he says that Manchester City and Liverpool are great benchmarks. He says he has a great perspective of where his club is at. He knows that they're playing against teams that are amongst the super clubs of European football. You know, you talked about City on Saturday. I'm sure he'll say the same thing about Liverpool today. When they play to that level, it is very difficult for every team.
Absolutely. And look, you're talking about a City side, arguably the greatest in their history. Could be. This Liverpool side, arguably, could be the greatest in their history.
Here is Robertson into the penalty area. A header by Wijnaldum. Goalwards, lands on the roof of the net. Schmeichel wasn't entirely convinced. And it goes behind and up for a goal kick away to our left-hand side. And it's going to get better, this Liverpool team. They've already made their first move in the January transfer window. Japanese attacker Takumi Minamino will join them from Salzburg on January the 1st. For £7.25 million. Seems a ridiculously small release clause. Played very well against them in the Champions League matches. Scored at Anfield in the group stage in October as well. He's only 24 years of age. I'm sure Leicester City will do a bit of business as well in the January transfer window. I know that Filip Benkovic, the young centre-back, may go out on loan, possibly to Derby. And with the help of Lee Congerton, if he thinks he can improve the squad, I'm sure Brendan Rodgers will try to do that. Space on halfway for Mane, spinning and running into opposition territory. Edge of the area is Alexander-Arnold. Oh, he's rushed it home. absolutely lashed it across the floor into the corner. A pinpoint finish from a terrific young player. He made the first, he scored the fourth, he stands by the corner flag, arms folded, stares into the Liverpool crowd. 3,305 of them go absolutely balmy because they know they've sent a message to the entire Premier League. They've thrashed Leicester. It's 4-0.
This is absolutely terrific technique here from Alexander-Arnold. Hits it first time on the run. Comes from a throw-in though. Liverpool work it so well. Get bypast the press, then they're out wide and they're at you. Brilliant little give and go here from one side to the other. Milner, I think it's into Mane. He knows he's got Alexander-Arnold on the outside, overlapping, just lays it in front of him. First time hit. Does Ben Chilwell do enough? Does he get across quickly enough? I'm not so sure, but the hit is terrific. Through the legs of Chilwell. Schmeichel's got no chance, into the bottom corner.
Just wonder whether or not Chilwell had the energy to get across quick enough and try and make himself slightly bigger.
Well, you've got to remember the play starts on this left-hand side and they move it so quickly to the opposite. So hard for Chilwell to be so narrow, then get out there wide and close the ball down. But the hit, absolutely outstanding from Alexander-Arnold.
Hey, they are a good team, this Liverpool lot, aren't they?
What's he got? A goal, 2 assists, Alexander-Arnold?
He's all right, isn't he?
Well, that's why they could be the greatest ever Liverpool side. Club World Cup champions, obviously Champions League.
What do we reckon?
Winners.
2 assists today for Alexander-Arnold. If that's the case, 8 Premier League assists already this season. Here's Robertson looking to try and bring in Mane, cleared away by Soyuncu, and then Chowdhury, who's come on as a substitute, tries to get it clear. Here he is getting it back towards the 18-yard box. Liverpool in fine form. The travelling hasn't caused them any ill effects, has it?
No, absolutely not. And I think they know as well they've got to win the league. I think Liverpool to be considered one of the greatest Liverpool teams. They know that.
Well, they've only lost one league match in 2019. They have only dropped 2 points in this Premier League season. They have, though, got a problem here for their captain, who looks to be in some agony, holding onto his right shin and cradling his knee. I do hope that isn't as bad as it looks. Away to our right-hand side, Jordan Henderson is on the floor. He is writhing in pain. There was a collision between him and Ayoze Perez. The back leg of Perez just seems to have landed on the knee of I think maybe it caught underneath the knee.
I think he just gets stuck.
Yeah, and I think he got stuck underneath the knee, and it looks quite innocuous, doesn't it? But usually those are the ones that are the scary ones.
Yeah.
And Henderson now getting some treatment over on the far side. I don't think Perez did anything wrong there, but he's getting lengthy treatment. It's currently Leicester City 0, Liverpool 4 on Talk Sport. And remember that tomorrow we've got Wolverhampton Wanderers against Manchester City, and as a result of this tonight, it will mean that Liverpool, top of the table with 52 points before the day started, will have even more than that now. Sorry, they'll have 52 points at the end of the day, with a game in hand over Leicester in second place with 39 points from 19 games. And Manchester City, who play tomorrow, will have the opportunity to leapfrog Leicester into second place in the table and close the gap to Liverpool, just 11 points.
He's struggling here, Jordan. He has gone off on that far side. They are going to make a change.
Yep. He doesn't look particularly happy. He doesn't want to come off, though. The change has been made, despite the fact that he was saying he didn't want them to. Zalana has come on for Henderson, and with 8 minutes to go before the game, Henderson is able to take his leave.
It'll be interesting to see who plays in that holding role. Looks like Wijnaldum dropped into it now. I know Lallana has played there, hasn't he, on occasions?
Well, if it continues like this, there'll be a Twitter poll in the new year, won't they? What's the best thing to come out of Liverpool? Liverpool under Jurgen Klopp. Liverpool in the late 70s, early 80s. The Beatles.
Bread.
Firmino onto Mane, back to Firmino, away by Pereira. I was waiting for you to make a contribution.
not the actual food bread.
No.
For those listening.
The old sitcom.
Yeah.
Yeah. 4-0 to Liverpool. And if you want the latest odds, you can head to the Betfair Exchange, the official betting partner of TalkSport's Premier League coverage. But right now you can get the next goal to be Leicester's 8.4. The next goal for Liverpool, 4. And no goal at all, 1.52. That's thanks to the Betfair Exchange. More ways to bet, more ways to win. 18 plus, please gamble. Allware.org. Here is Divock Origi trying to win the ball on this near side from Pereira. It goes down under pressure from Pereira. They'll be cleared away by Leicester. How much will this hurt Brendan Rodgers? Because this is the first home defeat of the season, and it's a chastening one.
Yeah, it is. I mean, it'll be tough to take, no doubt, but I think he recognised it, a bit like the Man City game. The opponent you're playing against, the quality that they possess, they're just not quite there yet.
Will anyone believe us that just before Milner scored his penalty, Leicester were close to getting back into the game?
Well, certainly those that are listening to it and watching it, yeah.
Moments like that do really change matches, but ultimately that is the big turning point. That Liverpool were dominant up until that point, but once that handball happens, it's all over, isn't it? Here is Perez on the left-hand side after a good run by Soyuncu onto Vardy. Back to Soyuncu again. Tries to get to the edge of the D. Plays it wide to Vardy instead. Vardy inside the area, side netting. With a tight angle that. Very difficult to beat Alisson from that sort of range. It goes behind and away for a goal kick away to our right.
Well, Soyuncu does well in the end. Just to find Vardy. It's a heavy first touch, though. He's out on this left-hand side of the box. Just takes himself away from goal, a little bit straight. Can't twist his hips enough to get the ball back on target. Misses at the near post.
Leicester City 0, Liverpool 4 on TalkSport. And Brendan Rodgers said it wouldn't mean more or hurt more if he lost to Liverpool. He paid tribute to the club, that they look likely to do what he so nearly did when he was in charge of them. It's going to be 35 games unbeaten now for Jurgen Klopp and his team, who go to Wolverhampton Wanderers at the weekend, to Wolverhampton Wanderers at the weekend, then Sheffield United at home, Everton at home in the FA Cup before their big clash live on TalkSport with Tottenham. Will anyone beat Liverpool? I mean, I suppose that is now the big question, isn't it, really? You know, they've played Manchester City, they've played Leicester City, they've played Chelsea, they've played the entire top four, and nobody's managed to land a glove on them, really. The only team that have taken points off of them, Manchester United at Old Trafford. Can anyone beat them?
Well, who beat them last year? They only lost one game, and that was it.
Yeah.
They drew 7, which I think ultimately cost them the title, and 5 of those are away. But this season they haven't done that. Those games that they were drawing last season, now they're winning. The Sheffield Uniteds of this world, nicking another goal, a late goal. The Villas, for example, turning those draws into wins.
Yeah, they've done so well in those games, haven't they, to show character, to come back and get those victories. But today's not been about that. It's been about flexing their muscles and showing their swagger and dominating this football match.
Do you think Leicester were affected by the Man City result in terms of, were they a bit intimidated? Is that how they played? A little bit in awe?
I suppose when you look back at the results in the first half of the seasons, the games that they have lost have been against the teams that they are sort of matched up against in the places for Europe at the end of the season. I mean, they didn't beat Chelsea. They probably should have won that game at Stamford Bridge. They didn't beat Chelsea that day. They did beat Tottenham here. Tottenham were going for a particularly bad patch. They didn't play very well at Manchester United, lost that game, and they've lost to Manchester City and lost to Liverpool. So maybe that sort of is in the back of their mind. There is a bit of an inferiority complex. Still, they're still a very young team though, Leicester. I mean, definitively we won't know. We'll speak to Brendan Rodgers after the game, get his thoughts on proceedings. He'll still remind us about the Carabao Cup semi-finals, of course, and where they are in the league right now. They'll still be second going into the games at the weekend unless Manchester City win tomorrow, which is quite possible. But certainly being in the top 3 into New Year is no disgrace, is it?
Oh, absolutely, and obviously if you look at the games they've got coming up, West Ham, Newcastle, Southampton, you'd probably kill for those games now.
They need them, don't they?
They do, because they've had a tough run.
Tough run and some tough results for Brendan Rodgers and their team. You just hope that this doesn't kill their momentum. There's been a few sort of tetchy exchanges between the team itself in the last few moments.
Well, they're rattled. Make no mistake, they have been rattled today. Those players that are normally so composed, like Schmeichel, losing possession too easily.
Here is Ricardo Pereira on halfway. Lallana comes across and stops Tielemans from escaping with the ball. Back to halfway, and Ricardo again tries to steer it forward down the right. Across comes Ricardo once more. And it's out of play and away for a throw-in to Liverpool, who are going to take all 3 points back to Merseyside. Liverpool at home to Wolves on Sunday, aiming to extend their run at Anfield to 50 Premier League matches unbeaten at Anfield. Wow. It's not by luck this, that Liverpool have been so dominant in the Premier League this season. It's been building. Here's Mane over the halfway line. He's got support. Lallana's bursting into the box. Ricardo Pereira stops it from sneaking through to him. Milner wins it ahead of Chowdhury, away by Ndidi. Wijnaldum gets it back. 88 on the clock on Talk Sport. Tomorrow Wolves against Manchester City. Saturday we've got live commentary from Brighton against Bournemouth. We've got Norwich and Tottenham as well. And 2 other games for you on Talk Sport 2 on Saturday afternoon. Between now and then on Talk Sport 2 we've got the cricket, South Africa against England. And those 2 games I mentioned on Talk Sport 2 on Saturday, Watford, Villa and West Ham Leicester, which is at 5:30 on Talk Sport 2, the same time as we're doing Norwich and Spurs on Talk Sport. Here is Gomez up to Wijnaldum. And if you've got the app, which I'm going to get for David as a Christmas present, you can swipe between the 2 commentary games at the same time.
Is that because you don't have to buy it? Are you getting me that?
Yeah. Spent all my money. Origi back to halfway. Robertson.
You and you spent your money?
Yeah. Hugh didn't spend any money, did he? Not at Christmas, he hates it. Not really, I'm only joking, don't get cross. Here is Chilwell, infield to Ndidi. Ndidi up towards Tielemans. Tielemans has spotted the run of Vardy but didn't play him in quick enough. It goes out wide towards Perez. And Iosi Perez dancing infield. Terrific victory this for Liverpool. It really will just add to that cockiness, that swagger, that belief that always going to go their way. You'll be able to have your say, by the way, if you're a Leicester fan driving in your car who left the ground a little bit early, or if you're a Liverpool fan. Well, I'm not sure that many Liverpool fans have left this ground. 08717 223344. Jeff Brazier on air with Gary O'Neill tonight from 10 o'clock on the Sports Bar. Ndidi to the right now on Johnny Evans. Leicester just playing out time. Liverpool allowing them to push the ball around on the halfway line. Chowdhury engaged by Wijnaldum. Free kick given. Ndidi will take it. I mean, 3 minutes of added time to be played. You must have been impressed by what you've seen from Liverpool today.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, we've seen all the different elements of their game, why they are top of the league and world champions. I mean, they've been calm and composed when they've needed to. They've attacked quickly and played through the press when that's been on as well. They're not afraid to go long. They can mix it up. Outstanding from set plays, dead ball situations. How many times they work to throw them from one side of the pitch to the other, and it looks effortless, but that's because obviously they work on it.
Origi trying to skate down the left side in between Chowdhury and Evans. And gets it back again from a lackadaisical Tielemans. Wijnaldum sends it out to the right. You'll never walk alone is sung heartily by the Liverpool support over on the far side. Here's Mane back to Trent Alexander-Arnold, who scored the 4th of Liverpool's goals today. Out to Mane. Mane tries to get beyond Chilwell. Waits, teases, pulls it back again into the path of Adam Lallana. We've played 91 minutes here on Boxing Day. What a Boxing Day it's been. Been great to be at Tottenham against Brighton earlier on today, and then get up here for this match. 2 great bookends to the day in between times. John Motson has brought you live commentary of Chelsea against Southampton on the TalkSport app. We've had Aston Villa, Norwich. We've had Arteta's first game in charge of Arsenal, all live on the TalkSport app. Carlo Ancelotti's first victory. Sheffield United getting a draw. Crystal Palace winning today on the TalkSport app. And Manchester United being... well, Manchester United again against Newcastle, winning by 4-1 on TalkSport with Ian Danter and Trevor Sinclair before this heavyweight contest has ended with a unanimous win. And I think definitely on points, Liverpool are about to win the Premier League fight too. They're going to take some catching now. They're holding the ball on the edge of the 18-yard box, just strolling through the last few seconds. Jurgen Klopp standing just on the edge of his own technical area, hands inside his pockets on a chilly night here in Leicestershire. Craig Pawson, the fourth official, standing between him and Brendan Rodgers, who looks a little bit isolated on the edge of his technical area. Not too happy at all, I wouldn't have thought, with the result. Might be a little bit harsh on Leicester, who are breaking away down the right with Albrighton, just trying to give a little bit of Christmas cheer right at the end, but beaten to it by Robertson.
That was a nice little give and go. He maybe could have delivered the ball, but he had a look in the box. It was only really Jamie Vardy who's on his haunches. He's knackered. Rodgers has spoken about that as well, in terms of resting those sorts of players, the likes of Vardy. Obviously these games to come. He can't though, really. Who else has got to come in? That's the problem with this Leicester side. Not reliant on him.
Trying to get down the right side, or tuck away by Adam Lallana. There's the full-time whistle. Christmas comes but once a year, but it looks like the Premier League is going to be delivered to Anfield, gift wrapped and with a big red bow on top. It's far too early to call them the champions of England, but 13 points in a game in hand at this stage has never and will never be overhauled. Yes, City play tomorrow, but Liverpool have one hand and four fingers on the trophy. Surely no one can stop them now. It's finished at the King Power Stadium on a terrific Boxing Day on TalkSport. Leicester 0, Liverpool 4.